Hello and welcome to In the Loop with me, your host, Kaysha Louvain, better known to my friends and family as Loop. Together with Audio Avenue and TIWN Media, we have come together to cut through the noise so you don't have to. In a world where fake news is taking over and AI is reshaping what we see on our screens, it's harder than ever to know what is real. This is where we come in. Think of us as your safe space. We're going to slow things down, break stories apart, and fact check headlines. No spin, no panic, just honest conversations and credible information to keep you truly in the loop. On the first episode, we're going to be talking about mental health and Time to Talk Day, which is on the 5th of February 2026, which is today. And alongside me, I have got three of the probably closest people to me. Megan, Ashleigh, and Bethan.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you sat here on the very first episode of In the Loop. Anyway, the first episode is about mental health, and this was really important to me anyway to do this episode because of the mental health struggles that I've had, probably looking back now, since I was probably about 12. And the struggles that I've had through my teenage years and then early 20s. And then really hitting a brick wall when Nan died.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the strongest things I think we all felt as a family is that your mental health in grief.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
And I think that was my time then to talk. I think I had mental struggles for 10 plus years then, but never really spoke.
What do you think helped you to start talking?
I think it's because I had to. I don't think I had a choice. It was either, I think when you hit that kind of wall of going, oh, well, I can no longer carry on. I can no longer gig. I can make music. I couldn't leave the house.
It was all encompassing.
Yeah. And I think then is the time to talk. But what I wanted to bring you three on to talk about this is that we've got such a good relationship. Like, we are so honest with each other. Probably too honest. But that helped. I know if I've got a problem, I can come to any of you.
I think it's vice versa as well. Like,
Yeah.
such an army of us. I don't think we've kind of got our way out of it not to talk to each other because,
Well, you can move to the other side of the world.
yeah, I would
Yeah?
take advice from you. But
That was a lovely 10 years.
if we're maybe even going back way before Nan passed away and things like that, is when we've obviously, I know you and Ash went to school together, you grew up together, but when we sort of become a family,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of, and the same with Connor, you were in the deep end of shit. There's a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? Where it was you kind of maybe a bit of a smaller family when it was just like you, Connor, Greg, your mum, your dad, like, and then all of us come along and all our extended family comes along, who are all extremely close. It's kind of, you don't have a reason not to talk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not much really changed for me because Kaysha and I have known each other since nursery.
Yeah.
And so I spent until I left and went to a different school, I spent my teens growing up with Kaysha. And then obviously, I think I had my first alcoholic beverage with Kaysha in the back alley at, some
We won't mention the age.
I didn't say illegal. I said first alcoholic beverage, but yes, so there was lots of experiences. So it was really the transition of you joining the family was like
Quite natural.
no, because it was like, well, you kind of already our family because we were so close anyway. And then obviously you grow apart as you get in your teens and stuff. But yeah, I didn't have that choice because you were then family. So
Yeah, life changes then, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you leave comp, you go to college or uni or wherever, and you travel the world.
But I think you were sort of talking about when Nanny Kay passed away and talking about the grief, it brought us so close together.
Yeah.
That was probably the best thing that ever came out of the sort of worst situation we could all go through.
Yeah.
It was such a traumatic time for everybody that I don't think we just left each other's side. I don't think we really have since.
No.
Even when you moved away and I moved away and, the girls had kids, we all still stuck really close together and everyone made the effort.
And there's one thing on when I was looking at the Time to Talk, their messages on Mind is that don't try and fix it. And I think us as a family are really good at that.
yeah.
Is giving each other kind of space to be like, right, okay, sit down, let's talk. What do you need from me? And I don't think people do that.
No.
often
Well,
enough.
it can be really hard. It depends, like, what kind of personality traits you have as well. Like, I'm definitely someone who wants to fit.
Yeah.
So I have to really focus and actually listen. Like, it's a skill that I have to really focus to do because it's not something that comes easily. So for some people, when they do just have to listen, yeah, it doesn't. It's not always like they're not doing the wrong thing, but it just doesn't come naturally. So we are lucky
I
that we've
think
got.
it's because we're older as well,
Yeah,
and we are protective of them.
mine, like your sister.
Yeah.
It's always been that way, and it'll always be that way. But um, yeah, but I've had to learn even with my sisters, but also friends, family, whoever, to just sometimes sit and listen and not saying anything is better than saying anything at all.
Yeah, it's good just to listen sometimes. You don't even have to say anything at the end of the day. It's like you say, you're not there to fix it. You're there just to be that ear for somebody.
And especially as when we went through a difficult patch last year as well as a family,
Yeah.
that was the case. I'd come down to you and have a coffee and just
Yeah.
and
What you had in mind
on my
life. When,
yeah, and whatever was on my mind, you were like, come down, have a coffee. Yeah, sit, and I listened, and
Surprised you didn't get a restraining order against us because it was everyday messages. You
Yeah,
okay? Any
I-
update?
I don't think I would have coped.
No.
I mean, I was on the other side of the world at that point. Go.
Yeah,
Has anyone spoke to Kaysha? Has anyone spoke to Sal? Making sure that, like, yeah, you were all okay. Like, just, I didn't really know the ins and outs of any details, but yeah, you've always got someone at the other end of the phone or literally a cup of tea. So,
I think when we sit here and talk about it, we realise how lucky we are.
very lucky.
Is it, we'll probably go into it, but there's people out there that doesn't have anyone like that. They don't have a big family. They haven't got a big support group. So I think we can sit here and always say, we're so blessed to have each other. But there is people who doesn't have a lot of that, and that's sort of where I think.
that's why I moved home,
Yeah.
to be close to family.
Yeah.
There's no other reason, really. Just,
I've noticed it more in the last 8 months since I've started cleaning. And I do a lot of elderly people as well because it just shows the ranges of ages it affects. Because I clean for, she's she just turned 90-year-old lady, and she has family, don't get me wrong, but are also busy with work, can't be there every day. And she's not a massive telly watcher, and she reads, but
she's like,
she would. I don't think she. I think they're like, you get to that age and they just don't admit it, and they don't understand mental health as much these days. But you can see it here, and how like, loneliness affects her as well, and it's just going.
It is that stigma as well.
Yeah,
And especially with older people. I don't think they've really grown and learnt to be like, it's okay to talk.
because they've always just been like, nope, get up, get on with it type of attitude, because that's how they were brought up. That's what it was like in their day, where it isn't these days. You have to talk because mental health is so big now and so much more understood.
Yeah.
You've got to talk.
Like, and it could be in the most unlikely person that they could be struggling, that something could happen. Because I think most people didn't even realize that I was struggling as a teenager.
No.
but it's really easy to mask how you're feeling and what you're going through because
I think we're quite similar in that. And we had this
Yeah.
conversation on the car on the way here. We hide it with humour and
yeah.
just being, the funny one. And yeah.
but we know that about both of you. And so that's why, like, someone will come knocking, they know when to give you space, but they also know, like, oh, Beth's not doing good today, but, oh, well, she seems fine. But yeah, you go, yeah, but she's really good at masking that. And so we all know you very well. But if someone doesn't have anyone to rely on, like we do, then
Yeah.
you can fall into a really dark trap, like it's.
Well, I find I'm the opposite because I'm quite an emotional person. So after having Rosie, when I really struggled with postnatal depression, people knew about it because I'm quite an open book. So I did speak about it, and I was very open with Jay and open with you lot and my mum. And
Yeah.
but then there is people out there who do completely mask it and don't tell her soul until things get really bad for them. And I just think like you're saying, talking is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And we are lucky we have each other, but like going to the doctors, going to see a therapist, or just speaking to a random person on the street who will listen is just so important.
Everyone copes differently, though. Like, we've talked about this often. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes going to the doctors is someone's last resort. Sometimes it's somebody's first resort.
Like, it was my last resort because I could speak to people, and like people say sometimes that it isn't enough.
Yeah.
And to me at that time it didn't. So I did go to the doctors and was prescribed medication, which thankfully has helped. But that was a last resort for me, but it could be someone's first resort as well. It's just, it's so different.
It was probably my last resort as well. I kind of had, it was, when I had the breakdown, it was because of my mental health, but also I've got polycystic ovary.
Mm.
And I had a burst at the same time, and the doctors had put me on such a lot of medication, as well as the mental health, the anxiety and depression medication, that I completely, I lost it.
Yeah. You didn't get to your body didn't get to regulate what's going on.
They honestly counteracted each other as well.
They were honestly, I don't think anyone, to the point where I just had to go.
There's also like women's health is probably a whole different topic, but women who suffer with or fertility issues, or whether you have PCOS or endometriosis like myself, like there are so many people that have got such bad situations and they're not heard at all, and they're just let down by the system. And that's not because the system doesn't necessarily do a good enough job. It's because sometimes there's not enough research, there's not enough information, and then there isn't any help to be given, and so you kind of like fall to the wayside, and then people fall into deep depressions. And you can really, if you have ever suffered with anything like PCOS or endometriosis, or, there's a long list, but if you've ever suffered with anything like that and not been in crippling pain, but still had to get up and go to work because nobody understands, then I can see why people who don't get support fall into a really deep, deep, dark place, because, yeah, it can be really crippling and so all encompassing. It can just feel like no one understands. And then even though you might have someone like a sister or a friend or someone who'll call you and say like, I'm here to listen, they still may not understand how you feel because the pain's different, or so that can be really difficult as well. Even when you are talking and people are listening, the pain might not be understood, whether it be physical pain or emotional pain, I suppose.
Yeah, I think as a society are getting better at understanding each other's pain, both physically and mentally.
Definitely advocated for better now.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think there's still so much more to do. And doing things like this, like the episode that we've just done, is good because it showcases, especially Time to Talk Day, which is so important. And there's different ways. I'm going to link everything in the comment section below for people to go and click and talk about it. Even if you share on social media or you tell a friend, it raises awareness. So thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure.
To be here.
Nice grown-up conversation for once.
I know.
between
There's
us
no
all.
humour involved, and I was like,
I know. And no swearing. Well done.
Quite a PG for us, so it's lovely.
say that stuff.
We'll see you next time.